The law of attraction manifestation has many humans sitting here like this, visualizing stuff, hoping the universe will give it to them. And meanwhile, God is tapping you on the shoulder saying, I hear you, get to work, be it, become it, do it, seize the day. Everything that I shared with you today will go a great deal in helping you to actualize your prosperity, your career, your business, or whatever else you'd like to actualize. Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode. Today I'm going to talk to you about the law of attraction and manifestation and some things that you might be missing in the whole big picture. We're going to talk about the teachings of Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza, Neville Goddard, Rhonda Byrne, and I'm going to also give you some powerful tools that if those things might be blocking your success, if you're not really noticing a lot of success, I'm going to help you to actualize with some powerful tools that maybe you might have missed and that I think are maybe missed in the law of attraction manifestation stuff. It's really important for me to also mention that I'm not trash talking Rhonda Byrne, Abraham Hicks, Joe Dispenza. You know, I have the books. I actually have a little stack here. I brought them just for this reason. I have all the law of attraction manifestation books, and I would never disparage the work of those beautiful teachers. But I do think that there are some of us who have a path that it is not served very well by focusing on that which we quote unquote want and the lack of what we have. I think there's a path for some of us, I'm one of these people, where you're actually meant to fully be that which you already are. So that's the key here that I want to really focus on. What I really want to convey with today's episode is to be that which you already are. Quick little backstory. I've been doing online business for 16 years, but I've been studying personal development and self-help and spirituality and all that stuff for the last 25 years. Okay. I had a really traumatic childhood. My mom was the only stable adult in my entire life, and everybody else in my whole family were drug addicts, heroin. My father, unfortunately, was a heroin addict, alcoholics galore, gambling addicts, all of that stuff. And through divine intervention, the divine beloved gave me this beautiful thing called agency. And the constitution that the divine beloved gave to me was the will. I have a really strong will, and you do too. And our will to be better, our will to transcend our past, those past conditions, those past circumstances, our will, it's actually something we can use all the time. And it's not just about the law of attraction manifestation. It's actually about being who and what you already are now. And I'm going to help to unravel that flower of being who you already are now, all the magnificent stuff you already are now. I'm going to help to unravel that flower. By the end of this episode, you're going to have so many cool tools. So when I came to realizing at a relatively young age, I was about 16 years old when I realized I'm on my own out here in these streets. My mom took great care of me, to be clear. But when I went home, every day after school, my stepfather was an alcoholic. There was lots of chaos. My father was way out of the picture. And I came to realize I was on my own, more or less. And I had to figure out this whole life thing because the adults in my life were just doing their own thing. And teachers in school, it's not like we learned this stuff in school. So I had to figure out, how am I going to be a productive, happy, successful person in this world? And I kind of put myself through proverbial college, starting at about the age of 16, where I would go to the library and rent books like Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy and there's a bunch of Zig Ziglar, all those beautiful, powerful, Wayne Dyer, all these beautiful teachers who were talking about basically success and self-development. And then I found the work of Rhonda Byrne and the Secret. And then I went on this whole trajectory of basically my entire adult life, just learning about self-development and spirituality and all of these things, actualization, I guess you could call it transformation. And some of it took great fruit. And some of these teachers and some of the teachings really didn't yield all that much fruit for me. And I can actually see in retrospect why. Right around the age of 28, I had a spiritual awakening. And my spiritual awakening was more or less, I already had a successful business that I built up and I was making great money. And I don't believe I was making great money because of law of attraction. I believe I was making great money because of sheer will. Okay. It was my will. Because I was not emitting a very good vibration most of the time. I was clinically depressed and anxious. And also my nervous system wasn't like in harmony. So I think that's total BS as well. You can make great money regardless of your nervous system state. I had made all this great success for myself. And then when I had my spiritual awakening, I was clinically anxious and clinically depressed and anxious. And I had an awakening and I had a health crisis all at the same time. And I actually came to realize what I'm delivering to you in this episode. I came to realize that I needed what I needed in my life. I needed to actually stop trying to get stuff out there. I was not materialistic and I was not seeking for like yachts and stuff, but I was just constantly on this never-ending hamster wheel of accomplishment and achievement and getting, life to show me that I was good enough. And I think the law of attraction and manifestation stuff, I think it perpetuates that for some of us. So what I actually really needed in my life and what actually has healed my life in a great way was not worrying so much about what life is giving me. I stopped worrying about what I was going to be getting from life. I stopped worrying about life showing me that I'm good enough. I stopped worrying about attracting the right situation. I just let go basically, and I surrendered to what I needed to surrender to. And what I needed to surrender to was the truth of what I am. I needed to actually come to love myself more or less. So I came to love myself through presence. So when I came to love myself through presence, by just being with myself, really, by not trying to figure life out anymore, I really surrendered to trying to figure out life. And I started just living my life. What happened then was an organic unfolding of joy and peace and being. So I am being what I already am in here. I'm being it all the time. I still am the same person. You can go to my channel and check by oldest. So it's not like my body changed, it's like, of course I'm a little bit older, but I'm saying I'm still Brenda and I still have my personality structure, but I'm actually fully online now. I'm actually fully here with you now. I'm actually fully accepting of myself in this moment now. So I think that was part of my journey that I was missing. And I think the more that you focus on the law of attraction manifestation, if you're meant to actually be surrendering that part of yourself that thinks you need all this stuff to be happy, it's like a precept, it's a presupposition, the presupposition being, I need all this stuff in order to be happy. Well, I'm saying you could cut to the chase right now and arrive here now and be happy now. And that's a tall order, right? It's a really tall order. So I'm not going to stop there. But that's just the first and foremost. The first and foremost, and I think that the law of attraction can kind of get us digging ourselves deeper and deeper into these despair holes where you're searching out there for, please give me the partner and the house and the car and the give me, and you're missing something very elemental, which is you already have everything you need in this moment now. And I know you've heard that, and I know that sounds like a cliche, especially if you're in a situation you don't want to be in. I'm not going to gaslight you here and say that's not valid, but I'm saying if you sit in this moment and allow yourself to just be and don't get your hands off the thing. Michael Singer says, stop touching it. And I'm saying that really is the truth. So let's stop touching it. Get your hands out of there for a second. You'll experience that present moment, and whatever is meant to be in this present moment, felt in this present moment now, you'll experience it. And that's actually good because it's liberating the thing. Okay, so let me get into the practicals about Abraham Hicks Joe Dispenza, the law of attraction manifestation stuff, so that I can make it a little more tangible for you. And I'm actually going to give you tools, like I said, so that you can start, quote unquote, getting what you want. Okay. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about, I've already started talking, but the first thing I wanted to talk about was thought work. The whole premise of Abraham Hicks and the law of attraction and Joe Dispenza and Neville Goddard and all of these manifestation teachers, they're focused on thought work. Okay. They're focused on what the thought matter is doing. There's limitations to that. This is speaking from personal experience. In fact, I believe that for many of us, those who need to awaken at a deeper level, we actually need to stop thinking so much. We really need to get our hands off of the thing. You really need to get out of there. Stop with the thinking. And these law of attraction manifestation situations, it's just a never ending cycle of thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking, 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 more thinking, more thinking, more thinking. Think about it, 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 think about it. Never ending stream of thoughts. And you never get off this hamster wheel of the thought matter. And what do you do have and what you don't have and what do you want, what do you not want, what do you, the contrast and the this and the that. And when you listen to an Abraham Hicks talk, all due respect, but for me, it just takes me down a couple octaves, takes me down in frequency. I believe it takes me down in frequency because when I had my awakening, it awakened me to the fact that I'm not my thoughts. I am that which the thoughts are happening inside of. I am that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am, that I am. Neville Goddard says, I am that. And he has that whole I am discourse and all that. Unfortunately, I think that even that was kind of taking it down to the thought matter and all that stuff. When I say I am that I am, that I am, I'm saying let go of thinking, because we're never going to solve the problems that we have at the level that we created them at. And most of our problems are created at the level of thought. And so a lot of these manifestation teachings go into thinking. So for instance, in this, just as a, for instance, in this book, The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent by Abraham Hicks, there's a bit about joy, and they talk about joy. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it here, but the question was more or less, how do I create a joyful and happy experience? And the answer was to think about things. And that's kind of the answer that Abraham Hicks gives to everything, is to be thinking about things and grab a nice thought and keep thinking good thoughts and think. And I've actually found that to be the exact opposite advice of what I needed. So for instance, when I was in clinical depression and anxiety, 90% of that clinical depression and anxiety was a result of being stuck in my thoughts. I was never, ever anywhere except for trapped in my thoughts. And when I actually got beyond myself and let go of thoughts and let myself feel for a moment, that was when that energy of depression finally liberated from my body. That was part of my awakening. I was so trapped in misery, the fear and anxiety, the clinical depression. And I was stuck in thinking and that prison of thought. And I could sure grab a nice thought. And it's not as though I hadn't tried to grab nice thoughts. It wasn't as though I didn't train my mind to try to think good thoughts. But there's something about the whole level of thought matter that if you're stuck at this level of thought matter and you're trying to fix things at the level of thought matter, when really you have to go to liberating the emotions by feeling them in your body and feeling them energetically and letting that I am, the God within you, take care of and heal it. We can't do that if we're constantly thinking. At least I couldn't. It was just when I let go of thinking about things. It was when I let go of trying to micromanage my mind and making every little bit of everything wrong. I was constantly making myself wrong for not feeling complete and total joy all the time. And that was a spiral. So part of the new age, and all love to the new age community. I mean, I have spirit guides and I have deep appreciation for so many of the new age teachers out there. But part of the new age community is that if you're not feeling good all the time, you're going to be attracting all of this negativity and you're going to be attracting disharmony. And that's just simply not true. That's just simply not how it works. I'm sorry, it's not. Because I had a very quote unquote abundant life when I was clinically depressed and anxious. I was making great money. I had a very good business. I had plenty of, I had a thriving YouTube channel. I had plenty of customers. I was traveling the world with my partner at the time. So we had a pretty decent life, but it wasn't very decent in here. And that's really what matters. And there's plenty of billionaires and millionaires out there with clinical depression and anxiety who are miserable, mean, ornery, So I think just the first thing, first point, first kind of takeaway is less thinking. If you're stuck without getting any results from this law of attraction manifestation stuff, I want you to just try an experiment where you're not thinking so much. Don't worry about negative thoughts. When you have a negative thought come in, we don't need to micromanage it. We don't need to hyper focus on it. We don't need to try to create better thoughts. It's fine if it's helpful for you, but I'm telling you that perhaps when you have a negative thought and it elicits an emotion, and a sensation in the body or whatever, we can just simply sit down and watch the whole thing unfold and be there as a loving observer. This is what happened for me. So during my awakening, part of the awakening process was I stopped trying to micromanage my mind and I stepped into the observer and I observed what was going on in here. And it was a lot of pain, a lot of anguish, a lot of suffering. And then there was a lot of stuff going on in my mind, tons of stuff. Always going on in my mind, wanting to change it. Why am I not happy? My chest feels tight. I was always having a tight chest because I was always so anxious. So when I sat in the witness consciousness, just relaxed. Basically, there's no technique. You just relax, chill, get your hands off of it, and let that whole thing pass through. Do you see how even just right there, if we're not sitting here focused on moving the food around on our plate, constantly thinking about what we do and don't want and the contrast and the vortex and all that stuff, how if we just go like this, we are the space that all of this is happening in, is what I'm trying to tell you. So you don't have to try to manifest anything at all because you are the space around it all. You're not the stuff, you're the space around the stuff. The next point that I wanted to make is becoming that which you already are. Becoming that which you already are requires a lot of action. And that sounds like a counterintuitive riddle. But here's what I mean. If you have a desire to, for instance, have a business that thrives and that helps lots of people, that means that you have a place that you are in here in your soul, that you are already that here in your heart and soul. And there's a part of you that wants you to do that, right? And then there's part of you that's not doing that right now. There's a little gap there. And so the law of attraction manifestation situation will say, think about it, visualize it, vibrate at that stuff. And I'm telling you, become that which you already are, meaning you're actually meant to become that. This is why I love teaching about business, because you're actually meant to embody that. Meaning if you want to have a business that's generating 6 figures or 7 figures a year, that means there's a part of you that wants to be a business owner that's very good at business. And that means becoming that. Your soul actually wants to experience you embodying that every single day. This means you're growing new appendages, not literally, but metaphorically, you're growing new branches on your being, on the being of your tree. You're growing new capabilities. You're growing new levels. You're getting new levels. You're ascending in who and what you are, but you're becoming what you already are. It's in there already. So this is part of the law of attraction that is true. You already have it. It's in this moment now. You already are that. But if there's a part of you that wants to be a successful business owner, here's the thing that the law of attraction manifestation kind of touts is that you must feel it here in this moment, and you must imagine it, and you must think about it and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, there's a really important, subtle difference here that I'm offering. And that is, you're actually being called to take massive mediocre action. And you're actually being called to kind of go through this awkward, uncomfortable, massive shift in who and what you are. You're basically giving birth, and that's going to be messy and uncomfortable, and you're going to stumble, and you're going to have to learn new shit, and it's going to be kind of a hot mess. And that's the nature of business. And that's the nature of when you learn new things. And the law of attraction manifestation stuff, it paints a very disingenuous picture where you think about something and it falls right into place and it clicks. And then people assume that when they're doing something and it's not working out right away, that they're not doing it the right way. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you're seeing results right away. What matters is, are you doing the thing? Are you becoming that person you want to be? That's way more important than the $1 million or the 6 or 7 figure year profit targets. It's who are you becoming that which your soul wants you to become. So let's talk about being now. So becoming that which you are through massive mediocre action. Just wanted to drive that home because it's not emphasized enough. There's not enough on action. And I'm going to give you some practical and tangible tools in a minute here, but being, let's talk about being. So being, capital B-E, being. Part of the law of attraction manifestation is to vibrate at the frequency that you want or whatever. It's lots of concepts. It's conceptual. It's cerebral. And I'm telling you to get into the energetics of it, get into the feeling of it, get into the vibration of it. And the vibration of that which you want, meaning that thing that you want to have in your life. You want to have a 7-figure, 6-figure business. You have to be a business owner now. You have to be that now. We're not talking vibrations. I'm not talking about vibrating at that frequency. Do you see how that language automatically takes us into a cerebral kind of state where it's like, okay, I better vibrate at that frequency. And then we're sitting here trying to vibrate at a frequency, maybe listening to good music or whatever. That's fine. Nothing wrong with it. But I'm saying, if you're a 6 or 7 figure business owner, and you need to be that, because it's true. You do need to be that which you want to draw into your life. If you want to be a successful business owner, making really great money, you have to be that now. We don't put it off into the future. We don't wait for the universe to give it to us. We be that now. And here's how we be that. We have to, going back to the last thing, we have to take massive mediocre action. Massive mediocre action. There's no other shortcut. It doesn't matter how much you visualize. It doesn't matter how much you vibrate at the frequency. You have to be that now through your actions now, doing things now, making those moves now, little by little now. This is why the law of attraction manifestation stuff keeps us broke. Because if you're not being that now, meaning getting up and taking those uncomfortable actions that are very unpleasant in the beginning, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to make any progress. So we say as human beings, I want to manifest a 6 or 7 figure business. And the universe says, cool. Once again, you and the universe, the universe is you and you are the universe. But the universe says, cool. Show me. Show me. Imagine if, like I've said this before, this is a metaphor. Imagine if a mama bird never encouraged her baby bird to fly. That baby bird wouldn't even know it has wings. So you're over here wanting to what you actually want, by the way, when we want these things in our lives, you actually want to be confident, cognizant, powerful, helpful human being that really commands 6 or 7 figures a year. That's what you're wanting in your body. That's what your soul wants to bring out into the world. That's what you want to be. And so the gap there between your lived experience right now in this moment where you don't yet maybe have that and the experience of you having those things, that gap is nothing more than you being that now. So this requires a choosing. And that choosing is in this time and space realm, as a human being in this time and space reality, you must make a commitment here now that you came here. You were born here as a body here. Your soul having a spiritual experience, your spirit having a spiritual experience. You came here in the body for a reason. And part of that reason is this ever evolving version of you. You keep wanting to become a bigger and better version of yourself. You want to experience different aspects of yourself. And so that requires us to actually use our body to experience that. It's not an accident that we're landed in this time and space realm. It's not an accident that we have a human body to experience physical reality. And so the law of attraction manifestation has many humans sitting here like this, visualizing stuff, hoping the universe will give it to them. And meanwhile, God is tapping you on the shoulder saying, I hear you, get to work. Be it, become it, do it, seize the day, get some emails out there. This is why I love business. Get some emails out there, film your YouTube videos, get your offers up, get your live event going. Get a webinar out there, learn marketing, get some copywriting going. All of these tools that online business teaches us that we need to get with online business. I'm not sitting here doing all this and teaching all this because I'm some money hungry Pac-Man. I'm teaching these things because it helps us to embody that which we want to become, that which you want to be. It helps us to be, capital B, capital E, be that business owner that you want to be. Because if we just sit here and hope and think and try to manifest the 6 and 7 figure dollar years, the universe is sitting there with its arm crossed like, you're not getting it. You're here to be that. Be it in this moment now. So the power of being in real time, how we be that which you already are. You're already that in here. How do you be that out in the world? Is you actually take those boring, massive, mediocre actions. For instance, I'm going to give you a couple quick snippets. This does not sound spiritual, but it is. Tip number 1, get Asana. Asana is a project management software. I'm not sponsored, not affiliated. Asana is a magic manifestation tool wherein you put your projects, you put your goals, and then you map out what steps you need to get those things done. So for instance, if your first target is get your website up so that people can actually buy what you want to sell, buy what you have to offer, you'd put finish website. And then you put under there, step 1, go on Upwork and hire a web designer. Step 2, pay for a domain. Step 3, announce it to friends and family. Step 4, post it to Facebook. This seems like 3D nonsense to those in the New Age community who are accustomed to listening to Abraham Hicks wax poetic about the vortex. But I'm telling you, from my own personal experience, there is nothing more spiritual than getting your ass to the chair, sitting your butt in the chair and saying, I'm a CEO of a thriving online business that generates multiple 6 figures a year. Let me go ahead and be that in this moment, sending out this email and then having that email generate thousands of dollars in sales. That's true power. And I'm not talking about that money hungry power. I'm talking about that embodied power of being a broke little personal trainer coming from a family that grew up on ramen noodles without a father figure, grew up in chaos in poverty, the little Chicago girl in me, that now I can sit at my desk and say, I'm going to put together a launch and it's going to be $50,000 and have it match that target and do that anytime I want to do it. It's not pie in the sky. This is not some Rubik's Cube to solve. This is the power that, going to the next point, that you have. You have. Abraham Hicks doesn't have some magic power, neither does Esther Hicks. Joe Dispenza doesn't have some magic formula for you. None of it is out there. Those teachers are very, very helpful sometimes. But I'm telling you right now, you have the answers in you now. Speaking from personal experience, you have spirit guides that will always tell you what's the best choice now. Do you know? I know that's not for everybody here who tunes into this channel, but you have the answers within you now. And here's the big secret. You, like I said, you and God are one. You and I are one. This whole thing is one. There's not some universe out there coming to deliver you the Lamborghini. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about that's coming to mind, that's very important for me to mention, is that this whole experience is not meant to be a cakewalk. It's not meant to be 100% easy all the time. If I can speak one last time of my own personal experiences, I had that health crisis where hair was falling out of the top of my head. It was called alopecia and lupus. And it was through that health crisis that my spiritual awakening occurred. And without that spiritual awakening, I would still be doing health and fitness videos. I wouldn't have taken a 6-year sabbatical all around the world to learn from some of the best spiritual teachers and masters. I wouldn't have gotten my yoga practice that helped me to anchor into the peace that passeth all understanding. I wouldn't be able to sit here and deliver this message to you with the confidence and the personal knowing and the direct experiential knowing that you can do anything you'd like. And you can be anything you'd like to be in this moment now. And also, I heard for many years before my spiritual awakening that you have everything you already need ever within you now. And it always sounded like a flowery idea, but hopefully, as you're hearing me talk, you can feel the fact that I actually know that in this moment now. I know that to be an absolute truth. And in this moment now, what I'd like to leave you with is a direct experience of that truth. So in this moment now, without all thoughts, without all judgments, if you let go of everything that you've ever wanted, everything you ever thought you would get, all your dreams, all of your desires, everything that's been on your mind, any problems that you're going through, anything at all that you brought to this video that you might have been struggling with in this time and space realm, anything that's giving you some problems. We're going to, just in this moment, just practice with me now. This is what I did. You know, this was part of the process. We're going to just surrender it now. So can you come to this moment now? Fully open your heart to this moment now. Surrender all of it and let it all go now. What's left over, if you're not focusing on anything that's not of the capital T truth, which is this present moment now, the silence behind the words that I'm speaking of now. You know, I learned some of this stuff from listening to Eckhart Tolle. Also, by the way, Eckhart Tolle was one of my all-time favorite teachers. And he's a much better source of, you know, manifestation wisdom, because the ultimate manifestation tool for all of us is simply being here now. Because when we're here now, we actually accidentally, most of the time, we start acting from that inspiration, from that motivation, from that clarity that arrives from this moment now. So let go, constantly surrender anything that's holding you back from just taking that massive mediocre action and being, capital B-E, being that which you already are in this moment now. So there's a lot of emphasis on the action here. Let's go ahead and give a quick summary. You're not your thoughts. Less thinking, more feeling. You're an eternal being, and you can be that which you are in this moment now by embodying it and taking massive mediocre action. Your feelings are not wrong. There's nothing wrong with feeling disharmony in your system now. In fact, many times we're meant to feel those things. And if you make your feelings wrong, that's a one-way ticket to Depressionville and Anxietyville. So don't make your feelings wrong. And lastly, you already have everything you could ever need within you right this moment now. I promise you that everything that I shared with you today will go a great deal in helping you to actualize your prosperity, your career, your business, or whatever else you'd like to actualize. I also put together a free training for you. It's called the Big Money Blueprint. Speaking of actualization, this is my free training on my website at brendaturner.com/big. And this is actually something I take my clients through when we're building up their businesses. I could have definitely charged some money for, but I decided to make this free because I feel like this is what's being called for. Really high quality trainings, really high quality action. So I'm helping you to get into action with this Big Money Blueprint. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everybody.